Oliveira versus Holloway. Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway is taking place on March 7th, here in a few months. And as a Max Holloway fan, I'm nervous. I'm very nervous for this fight. I love Max Holloway. He's my favorite fighter of all time. But I just think that Oliveira is a bad matchup for Max. He's got much, in my opinion, he has much more violent finishes on the feet, putting guys out, putting guys down. He's displayed venom in his hands. He's displayed the power on the ground. I feel that Oliveira, he's gonna maul Max, in his fights with guys like Gamrot, in his fights with guys like Arman. Those were very, very competitive fights. Oliveira has some of the best jiu-jitsu in that division. And on the ground, I feel that Max does not stand a chance. And I feel as if Max, ever since going to 155, I feel as if Max has traded his power, or he's traded his chin for extra power. In his Gaethje fight, his first fight at 155, he displayed insane power, hurting Gaethje on multiple occasions. Also in his fight against Poirier, on multiple occasions, he had him hurt. But also, in those fights, he was dropped in each of them. I believe he was dropped in the fourth round of the Gaethje fight, and he was dropped in the second round of the Poirier fight. And granted, I know that he's going up a weight class and he's facing more powerful, bigger guys, but at the same time, I don't feel like that's a good sign going up against an Oliveira. And granted, I know Oliveira, he's taken his own damage. He's been knocked out cold. He's gets hit a lot, but at the same time, nobody gets hit more than Max Holloway. Nobody's taken more damage throughout their career than Max Holloway. And maybe this is just the natural trajectory of his career at 155 after beating Poirier, after beating Gaethje. I guess the next guy that makes sense is Oliveira. Like I said, Oliveira's taken a lot of damage in his career. He's been dropped in 5 of his last 8, including being viciously knocked out against Topuria. I think Max can definitely win. I just think Oliveira has way more weapons. His power, his kicks, his grappling. I think Max has the better boxing, pure boxing. In his movement, his footwork is really good. His volume is insane. I don't know if his cardio is better than Oliveira's. We haven't really seen Oliveira. Well, actually, we have seen him go the distance in his fight against Chandler, but safe to say, I'll say that Max has the better cardio. He's got obviously great volume, great movement, really good boxing. I'd say he's a better boxer here in this scenario. But I do think that his boxing defense gets him in trouble in many of his fights. In the Topuria fight, in the Poirier fight, he was taking a lot of damage in that fight. He was getting tagged a lot, getting his head snapped back a lot. And I just think that's really dangerous, not having the best boxing defense. Although he is the better boxer, he doesn't have the best defense. And going up against a guy like Oliveira, who kind of just throws himself into the fire. He'll throw himself at Max. He'll take 2 to land 1. I think Oliveira has the edge in power. I think he's used to fighting much bigger, much more powerful guys than Max Holloway. I feel that Max is faster, but I feel that Oliveira has the edge in power. And I just think I'm afraid for Max Holloway going up against a guy like Oliveira, who's gonna throw himself at you and he's gonna try his best to kill you in there. And we've seen many times Oliveira, he takes damage, he sort of takes a beating, he gets dropped, unless he's fighting Topuria. But he'll get dropped, he'll come back, and he'll win. He'll knock the guy out, he'll submit the guy, he'll win. And I just think with all the damage that Max has taken, I in fighting a guy like Oliveira, who's a violent guy, probably the most violent out of the Gaethje, the Poirier, fighting a guy like that. And we've seen Max get dropped in his last 2 fights, and then the fight before that he got KO'd by Topuria. I'm just fearful for Max. His boxing defense gets him in a lot of trouble, but I'm praying for a Holloway win. You know, I'm gonna be wearing my Holloway shirt. I'm gonna have my Holloway bobblehead, and we will be praying for a Max Holloway win. But we'll see. Max could easily go in there and put on a Calvin Kattar type performance. And looking back on this video, I'm just gonna look silly. But at the same time, Max can get this could be the first time we see Max get fully put out. You know, in the Topuria fight, he wasn't asleep, but. Yeah, we'll see, but I am nervous. So yeah, we'll see.